Hello my friend, and welcome to my channel Razib. In this video, you will learn some more JavaScript fundamentals. So in particular, let's learn about some basic operators. And let's start by defining what is an operator actually is. So an operator basically allows us to transform values or combine multiple values and really do all kinds of works with values. And there are many categories of operators, like mathematical operators, comparison operators, and logical operators, assignment operators also, and many more. So, in this video, let's look at some of these type of operators, starting with mathematical or arithmetic operators. So, we already used the plus and minus operators, but of course we can do all arithmetic operation. So we can also do multiplication, division, and many more other operation. And let's just use the minus operator to calculate age based on a person's birth year. So let's say const age Karim equal 2021, it is the current year, minus 1981. Okay? And let's just quickly log this age. So console.log age Karim. Good. So let's see the age now. As you can see, it is 40. Now let's do the same for someone else. So let's say const age as a din equal in minus his age, for example, is was born in 1980. So I will also log this one, but here I will delete this log. Oops. Now I will log console.log. I will log the both here. Okay, I will log age of Karim as din, and we could now write the same line as this. So age Karim, and we write other ones separated by the comma. So comma age as a din. Okay, like this. So, and we could do even more by adding more commas. So here we could then log something else. For example, if I have another age, I will use comma and another age. Okay? So now if we see the result, we have 40 and 41. Great. So that's how we use the minus operator to solve a very simple program in this case. So simply to calculate the age. However, we can actually do better. That's because we have this value that is repeating itself, as you can see. So this year, 2021, is appearing both here and here. And so that's not good because we are repeating this value. So if the year now change, then we will have to change it in this both place, and we don't like that, of course. And that's why we have the concept of variables. So instead of having this value here, let's say before const current year equal 2021, and here, as you see, I am using the variable names, as you can see. Okay, so now what I will do, I will replace this value here with this variable. Okay, so let's do current here, and here the same thing, current here, and of course I got the same result. There is no difference about this. Okay, so that's a very good use case for a variable right there. And of course, we can use all kinds of different math operation. So let's say, for example, console. So I just copy paste this one very quick. Let's say, for example, age as a din this time, and here I will multiply the age of Asdin by 2. I will use this star or asterisk keyboard by 2. Okay, and also we can do the same thing with division operator or divide. So age as a din divided by 2. And remember, I can do it in the same line. So I'll remove this one. I will just use the comma here to separate the two values. So age as a din divided by 2, like this. And notice how these are two different calculations, okay, this one and this one. So one calculation and another one, or basically another operation, and that's because, as I mentioned before, we can log different values at the same time in one console.log. So here, age as din multiplied by 2, we are creating one value. And here, age as din divided by, let's change it to 3, for example. We are creating a second value. And then let's also use the explanation operator. So, for example, 2 to the power of 3. So, like this, to the power of 3. That is how to use the exponentiation operators. Okay, so I can maybe add the comment here to explain what does it mean. So 2 explanation 3 means 2 to the power of 3, and it is same thing doing this, 2 multiplying by 2 multiplying by 2. Okay, so what is the result here? It should be 8. So let's see now all this log, and indeed we have 82 because the age of Asdin is 41. So 82 is age of Asdin times 2, or multiplying by 2. Then we have also the age of Asdin divided by 3. It is 13.66. So that's easy. And then 2 to the power of 3 is 8. Nice. Next, there is another use case that we didn't use yet for the plus operators. And that's because we can use the plus operator to join strings, or in other words, to concatenate different strings. You will understand this very easy. So let's create two variables. Let's do first name, const first name equal Faisal, and const last name equal Azib. Okay, and now I can concatenate these two strings using the plus operator. So let's log that to use the console. I have always copy paste, yeah, always. So I will write here first name, and after this plus operator like this, and I will continue with the second one. It is last name. Okay, and let's see. Indeed, we have now one big string with both of the name together. So Faisal Azib call. So both of these strings that we declared earlier. But what if you wanted a space between them here? Okay? Well, that's not too hard to do it. All we need to do is to create another string which is just a space, and then concatenate it here with these two strings that we have used before. And you can actually do that right here. Oops. So we want this string first name, which is just Faisal. And remember, the JavaScript engine will simply replace this string with this one. Okay? Then we create an empty string. So plus here an empty string like this with a space, or actually a string with a space, and then we added another plus, and we continue with another string that is last name. It means Azib. Okay? So that's gonna be Faisal plus space plus Azib. Let's see. And as you can see, here is exactly the result that we were after. Now, there is actually a better way of doing this kind of concatenation of string, which is called template strings. But let's focus on operator now. Okay? So this is very useful, one that we actually use quite often. So another type of operator is actually the type of operator, which we already used up in previous video. So I'm not gonna do that again. So remember, we have the type of operator, and that will then give us the type of the value. So we already know how that one works. So let's move on the next category, which are assignment operators. And the most straightforward assignment operator is just the equal sign. So let's say let x equal 5 plus 7. Okay? And so this equal sign here is actually itself an operator. Alright? So in this line of code, we do actually have two operators. So the equal sign and the plus. Okay? Now in this case, x will be assigned to 12 because the plus operator is executed before the assignment operator. Okay? And that's based on a couple of rules about operator proceeding that I am gonna show you in the next video, inshallah. So let me actually show that to you, that is indeed works as I told you. So I will log this result, console.log of x, and let's see. Indeed, it's 12. So 5 plus 7 is done first, and then the result of this operation, which is 12, will then be assigned to x. And so that itself is another operator, but there are more assignment operators. So let me show you one to you, which is one. I put it here. Which is this one. X plus equal 10. Okay? So we know that at this point, after this line, x is 12, right? So let's write a command here. X at this time equal 12. And then we have this next line. So this weird x plus equal. So what does plus equal actually mean? Well, let's write that again as a comment. So what this means is to simply x equal x plus 10. So simple. Okay, so instead of having to write all of this, we do it lightly. Can simply write it x plus equal 10. So simple. And so x should be now 22, because this x here from the previous step is 12. So here we are basically reassigning the x value. That's why I used let here. So again, x at this point here will be 12, and then 12 plus 10 should be 22. So let's see this. Good. That's what we got. Let's continue. So let's write that result here so that we can track as I show you more operators, because as you might imagine there are more operators like this. Okay, so I just write here with the command now x is equal to 22 to track our operations. For example, let's see another operation also. There is, I do it here, x star or then times or asterisk, call it what you want, equal 3. And I hope you can imagine that with that this will mean. I hope. So let's do it in the command always. So this means x equal x multiplied by 3. Okay. So in this case should be 22 times 3, so 66. So let's check that. And indeed it is 66. The same operator also exists with divided here, but I'm not gonna go into that one. So to finish, I will just show you the x plus plus operators. X plus plus operator. And what this will do is x equal x plus 1. So simple like this. So let's see. Normally we got 67. Indeed. So simple. And also we have with minus. So I mean x minus minus like this. And it means as previous one, but here we subtract 1. So x equal x minus 1. And here we come back to the previous value. I mean 66. I can also do second time, and here what I got 65. Do you see? Good. That's good. So minus minus is basically just the opposite of plus plus. So this one will decrease the value by 1, and so we end up with 66 in the previous value. I have to do it 2 times. Okay, so let's actually write that this are, we call them, this is just in group of course, assignment. I'm not, no, I have added here assignment operators, and this one we call them, what we have to do before is we can do it from here, yeah, this one we call them math operator. Okay, just to understand what we have do before. And now let's talk about comparison operators, and these are pretty great. So basically we use comparison operators to produce Boolean values. So let me show you how that works, and then I am sure it will make sense that the result of a comparison operator should be a Boolean. So let's write here our comment. Here put comparison operators, and we start comparison operators. So let's start. For this, let's do console.log, and what I will do here, age of Karim. Here I will use the comparison operator is, for example, greater than age of Azzuddin. So let's say you are trying to figure out if age of Karim is greater than age of Azzuddin, right? So what could the result of this be if we think about this logically? Yeah? So age Karim can either be greater than Azzuddin or not. And so if it is greater, then the result of this should be true. And if it is not, then it should be false. So let's see. Indeed, the result of this one is false. That's because Karim age is 40 and Azzuddin is 41. Okay, so this is basically like asking the operator, is the age of Karim greater than the age of Azzuddin? It's the same thing here. And the operator will then essentially reply with no. It is, which means true or no. So it is not, which means false. And this can be very useful later when we start taking decision with our code based on condition like this. Okay? Now, of course, there is also the less than, so the opposite, and also there is greater equal or less than equal. So basically we have, I put them in the command. So we have greater that we have used now, we have less, we have also greater or equal, and we have also less than or equal. So let's see a nice application of greater than equal operator. So let's say we want to test if Karim is of full age. So that means that he must be at least 18 years old, and at least means that he is greater than 18 or exactly 18. And so we can use the appropriate operator for that. So log console.log. Now what we'll use, age Karim greater than or equal to 18. Okay, so greater or equal 18. So 18 should already be included, and that's why we have this equal here. Okay, so this should be, of course, true, and indeed. So if we make him some year younger, so let's say he was born in 2003, like this, then his age is 18. Okay, that is it. And as you see here, he is still full age. Okay, so it is still true here because the age is 18 and it is equal. We have said here greater or equal 18. And that's because we include 18 here in the age basically by using this equal sign again. But now, if we made him born in 2040, we decrease by 1. Sorry, brother Karim. Now, as you can see, she should be 17. And then this should turn out to be false. So that checked out, and yes, now it is false, and it's good. Now, keep in mind that in real development, we would actually store this result here. So, for example, the result of this comparison operator, or this one here, would store this result in variable and not just always log the result to the console. Okay? But in this case, I just want to show how all of this works. And so we need to console, because really all we want to do is to see the result, because we are still learning. Okay? We would also just do all of this right here in the console immediately. But then we will kind of lose the record of what we are learning, and it will be not so easy to scroll up and down. Okay? But of course we could just do this. So age of Karim, as you can have auto completion, greater than or equal to 18. Okay? We could just write age Karim, as you say, we'll still get the same result. And this works because the console actually has access to all the variable that is running in the current browser tab. Okay? So all the variable that we have used here, like for example first name. Okay, so I write first name here. I have auto completion. Good. They are all right here. Can even auto-complete them, okay? But then again, if you would reload this page now, as you see, because, yeah, I've reloaded, yeah. So if I reload I just push the button here, now I reload, good. Then all you just did will be lost, as the previous comparison of age Karim greater than equal 18 and the first name have been lost. And of course, we could also simply, as I say, just store this result if we need them later in our code. So, for example, we can do const full age equal, and this comparison age Karim greater than equal or equal to 18, like this. Okay? So this variable will be the one holding the Boolean value then. Okay? So, and actually, as you see here in this pop-up, VS Code is so smart that it figures out automatically that this variable here is gonna be Boolean because of the code that we wrote here, which of course has a Boolean as a result. Okay? So now, just to finish, let's say we don't want to intermediate age variable and do this comparison here. Okay, so I don't want, what is it? When I make this comparison, I mean, I don't want this intermediate variable, I don't want them. Let me show you how to write this comparison without this variable. So again, imagine we have a lot of code and we don't want to calculate this age here separately. So we could just do console.log, and here I just write current year minus the first one is 2040, and here greater than current year minus 1980. Okay, well, let's actually put it back here to 1981 initial value. So this now is basically just the same as the previous. So what I have make here is the same thing as this one. Okay, we are simply doing it now all in one step before using the variable. So this one, current year minus 1, is the same as this one, and the same thing for this one is the same as this one. As you can see, it is highlighted. Now the big question here is, how does JavaScript now, if it should do the math first or it should do the comparison first, right? Because we could think that the first thing to do is to calculate this. So basically for the 40, and then JavaScript could compare that 40 to current year. Okay, that's what would happen if the operation will simply proceed from the left to right. But we will see that it doesn't. So we'll see that this actually works just fine, right? And so JavaScript has some way of knowing that it should first do this operation, then this one. Oops. Okay, so that is has the two numbers, and then only at the end, once it has the two age, it will compare them with this operator in the middle. So how does that work? Well, that's what we are gonna talk about right in next video, inshallah. Okay, so I hope that you have understand how to use math operators, assignment operators, and also comparison operators in this video. I will talk more in detail about also in next video with other things. So just practice, always practice, and see you next video, inshallah, to continue to talk more about detail how this comparison works, or how this JavaScript execute this one, etc. etc. Take care of us. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel Faisal Azib, and also to follow me on Instagram teams.winners and faisal.checo, and in Twitter Teams Winners. I tell you goodbye. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.